There is a truth so simple, so profound, that when you fully grasp it, it can transform your life completely. Happiness is not something you stumble upon. Happiness is something you create. You don't have to wait for circumstances to be perfect, for people to treat you right, or for all your goals to be met before you allow yourself to feel joy. The power to be happy, truly happy, already lies within you. It begins with the thoughts you think, the beliefs you hold, and the choices you make each and every day. Far too often we allow our moods to be shaped by the outside world, by setbacks, by disappointments, by the behavior of others. But what if instead we decided to shape our world from the inside out? What if we took hold of our thoughts and planted seeds of peace, optimism, and faith? You are not at the mercy of your emotions. You are the master of them. And when you learn to master your mind, you unlock a wellspring of happiness that no one and nothing can take from you. So today, let's talk about how to stop chasing happiness and start building it, brick by brick, thought by thought, from the inside out. Because happiness isn't found, it's made, and the greatest news is you are the one who can make it. Happiness is not something the world gives you. It's something you give to yourself. It doesn't depend on your surroundings, your wealth, or your achievements. Happiness is born deep within your heart and mind. It is an inner condition, a quiet strength, a steady flame that can burn even when the winds of life are howling. So many people spend their lives searching for happiness as if it were a prize hidden at the end of some long and winding road. But the truth is, happiness is not a destination. It is a decision. It is not something to be discovered. It is something to be created. When you realize that happiness is an inside job, you take your power back. You are no longer waiting on someone else to make you feel fulfilled. You are no longer placing your joy in the hands of chance or in the outcomes of your efforts. You begin to understand that you can carry peace within you even in the middle of chaos. And how do you do this? You do it by choosing to believe in good things, to think positive thoughts, to trust that no matter what happens, you are guided by a higher power who wants the best for you. A positive mental attitude is more than wishful thinking. It is a spiritual strength. It is a way of seeing the world through the eyes of faith, through the lens of possibility. When challenges come, and they will, you don't deny them, but you don't let them define you either. You remind yourself, this is tough, but I am tougher. This is painful, but I will grow from it. This may be dark now, but the light is coming. That kind of mindset isn't just healthy, it's holy. It connects you to the spirit of victory that lives within you. The happiest people are not the ones who never have problems. They are the ones who decide to be joyful in spite of them. They are not waiting for the storm to pass. They are learning to dance in the rain. They fill their minds with gratitude, their mouths with encouragement, and their hearts with trust. They wake up each day and say, today, I choose joy. I choose peace. I choose to see the beauty in life. You see, happiness doesn't come from having all you want. It comes from appreciating all you have. It comes from aligning your thoughts with truth, your actions with love, and your heart with faith. You can train your mind to notice the blessings instead of the burdens, the possibilities instead of the problems. And every time you do, you build a little more happiness within yourself. You are not powerless. You are not a victim of circumstances. You are a powerful creator of your own inner world. And when your inner world is strong, peaceful, and joyful, it begins to shape your outer world too. It influences how you speak, how you relate to others, how you rise after setbacks, how you see the journey ahead. So no matter what today looks like, no matter what life has thrown at you, take a deep breath and remember this truth. Happiness lives inside of you. It begins with your thoughts, it grows through your attitude, it flows through your faith, and once you choose to own it, no one can take it from you. Every single day when you wake up, you are presented with a quiet but powerful choice. The choice to be happy. Not someday, not when life gets easier, but today. Happiness is not just an emotion that happens to us by accident. It's a decision we make with intention. You don't have to wait for all the pieces of your life to fall perfectly into place before you feel joy. You can choose happiness even when there are challenges. You can choose happiness even when things aren't going your way. And when you start choosing happiness daily, you begin to train your mind to see life through a brighter lens. Each morning brings a new opportunity to set the tone for your day. Before you even step out of bed, before the noise of the world begins to crowd your thoughts, you can decide what kind of mindset you're going to carry with you. Will you focus on the worries, the problems, the things that went wrong yesterday? Or will you look toward the good, however small it may seem, and decide to be thankful? Gratitude is one of the most powerful tools for happiness. It shifts your attention away from what's lacking and reminds you of all that you already have. And when you're grateful, your heart softens, your mind clears, and you begin to feel a quiet contentment that no circumstance can shake. Choosing happiness doesn't mean ignoring reality or pretending that everything is perfect. It means making a decision to look for the beauty even in the ordinary. It means expecting the best, not out of naivety, but out of faith. Faith that things can improve. Faith that good things are on the way. Faith that even in difficulty, you are growing, learning, and being prepared for something greater. When you begin to make this choice consistently, it becomes a habit. Your mind becomes trained to seek out the positive, to hold on to peace, to find joy in the present moment. And that choice, day after day, begins to change you. It changes how you react to stress. It changes how you treat others. It even changes the way people treat you, because happiness is contagious. Your positive energy lifts the atmosphere around you. It makes your words softer, your presence warmer, and your actions more compassionate. There may be days when happiness feels like a stretch, days when nothing seems to go right, and your spirit feels low. On those days especially, the choice becomes even more important. It's on those days you speak kindly to yourself. You go back to gratitude. You remind yourself of every reason you still have to smile. You take one small step toward joy, and then another. Because happiness is not about feeling amazing all the time. It's about choosing light, even when the path is dim. Remember, you are not powerless. You are not at the mercy of your circumstances. You have a choice. And with that choice comes freedom. The freedom to rise above negativity. The freedom to let go of what you cannot control. The freedom to build a life that radiates peace from the inside out. Every morning, remind yourself, today I choose happiness. Today I choose to see the good. Today I walk in gratitude and expect the best. And when you do that, you will find that joy starts meeting you right where you are. Your thoughts have more power than you realize. They are the architects of your mood, the painters of your emotional landscape. Every thought you entertain shapes the way you feel, the way you act, and the way you experience the world around you. If your thoughts are filled with fear, doubt, and negativity, your mood will reflect that. But if your mind is filled with hope, joy, and encouragement, your spirit will rise and peace will follow. The key to happiness is not found in trying to control the outside world. It is found in learning how to guide your inner world, beginning with your thoughts. The beautiful truth is this: you are not a victim of your emotion. You are not helpless in the face of a bad mood. You have the power to change your mood by changing your mindset. You don't have to wait for something good to happen before you feel good. You can feel good by choosing to think good thoughts right now. The moment you decide to think uplifting thoughts, you are shifting the atmosphere of your own life. You are lifting yourself out of discouragement, out of heaviness, and into a place of light and clarity. When you think joy, you begin to feel joy. When you speak joy, your environment starts to reflect it. When you live joy, others are drawn to your energy. This is not about pretending or putting on a false smile. It is about deliberately filling your mind with thoughts that nourish your soul. When your mind is full of hope, your heart starts to heal. When your mind is full of faith, fear loses its grip. And when your mind is full of joy, your burdens start to feel lighter. It all begins with awareness. Become aware of your inner dialogue. What are you saying to yourself when no one is listening? Are you feeding your mind with worry, regret, and criticism? Or are you speaking words of life, strength, and positivity? Your thoughts can either be weeds that choke your joy or seeds that grow your peace. You have to be intentional. You have to choose what you allow to live in your mind. Speak to yourself the way you would to someone you love deeply. Say, I am capable, I am loved, I am strong, I have a purpose, I am choosing peace today. These words may feel small at first, but they carry the weight of transformation. They begin to rewire your emotions and create a new emotional climate inside you, one that supports happiness instead of holding it back. You also have to guard your mind from the negative voices around you. Not every opinion deserves your attention. Not every bit of bad news needs to be absorbed. Protect your mental space like a garden. Remove what's toxic. Plant what's beautiful, and give yourself time to grow. The more you feed your mind with positive, faith-filled, joyful thoughts, the more natural those emotions will become. There is no secret formula to constant happiness, but there is a powerful principle that works every time. Change your thoughts, and your feelings will follow. When your thoughts are joyful, your energy changes, your relationships improve, your creativity flows, your strength increases. This is not just about feeling better, it's about living better. You were never meant to live in defeat or darkness. You were made to shine, to rise, and to walk through life with joy as your companion. So today, no matter where you are or what you're facing, take a moment to shift your thoughts. Speak light, think hope, feel joy, and watch your whole day begin to turn around. When life becomes difficult, when problems seem to stack one on top of the other, it's easy to let your attention be consumed by what's going wrong. But in those very moments, the most powerful thing you can do is stop and count your blessing. Not because your problems aren't real, not because pain doesn't exist, but because there is something greater within you that grows when you focus on what is right instead of what is wrong. Gratitude is not a denial of difficulty. It is the declaration that goodness still exists, that beauty still surrounds you, and that there is always something to be thankful for, even in the middle of the storm. Your mind will always be tempted to drift toward the negative. That's human nature. The challenges demand your attention. The disappointments try to steal your joy, but you can interrupt that pattern by turning your heart toward gratitude. The moment you say, "Thank you," you're already changing your perspective. The moment you notice one good thing, your breath, your strength, the love of someone close to you, you shift from a state of worry to a state of peace. Because gratitude doesn't require everything to be perfect. It just requires you to notice the parts that are. Start simple. Say thank you for the little things. Thank you for the morning light. Thank you for another chance. Thank you for the ability to move, to think, to hope. As you do this, something incredible begins to happen. Your mind begins to loosen its grip on the fear. Your heart begins to feel lighter, and your spirit begins to rise. A grateful heart is a magnet for joy because it turns your focus toward abundance. It reminds you that no matter how many things are missing, there are still gifts present. Problems will always exist. Life will always bring challenges, but when you choose to count your blessings, you are not ignoring the problems. You are refusing to let them control you. Gratitude gives you strength. It anchors you. It builds resilience. It allows you to face difficulties without being crushed by them. Because while your problems shout, gratitude whispers, and in that whisper is power. Power to see clearly. Power to feel deeply. Power to move forward without bitterness. Make it a habit. At the end of every day, pause and list the things you're thankful for. Even if it's just one, even if it feels small, write it down. Speak it out loud. Let it become the lens through which you view your life. Over time, you'll notice the change. Your thoughts will shift. Your mood will lift. The burdens you carry won't disappear, but they won't weigh you down in the same way. Gratitude gives you wings to rise above them. And when you meet others who are struggling, share that spirit of thankfulness with them. Encourage them to see the light they may have forgotten. Gratitude is contagious. It spreads warmth, it heals relationships, it lifts atmospheres. When you live with a thankful heart, you shine a light that others can walk by. So if you're facing problems today, pause and count your blessings. Look not just at what's broken, but at what still works. Not just at what's lost, but what's still with you. In every trial there is a gift. In every tear there is a lesson. And in every heart there is the capacity to choose gratitude. When you focus on the good gets better. And when you live in that spirit, happiness doesn't feel so far away. It feels like home. ChatGPT said, "There is something deep within the human spirit that longs for meaning." We are not made to simply exist, to drift through life aimlessly from one day to the next. We are created with purpose, and when we live in alignment with that purpose, something beautiful happens. We come alive. There is a lightness that fills the heart, a strength that rises in the soul, and yes, a happiness that begins to bloom from the inside out. Purpose gives your life direction. It gives your actions weight. It gives your choices meaning, and it fills even the ordinary moments with a sense of worth. Happiness that is tied to purpose is lasting. It's not dependent on how much money you make, how many people praise you, or whether you've reached the top of the ladder. It comes from knowing that your life matters, that what you do matters, and that you are contributing something good to the world around you. People who live with a sense of purpose don't need to be pushed forward. They are pulled by something greater. They are fueled by a desire to serve, to create, to love, to heal, to make a difference in even the smallest of ways. If you feel like something is missing in your life, it might not be more things, more success, or more comfort. It might be a sense of meaning. Ask yourself, What makes me feel alive? What makes me lose track of time because I'm so engaged? What stirs my heart when I think about it? Your purpose often hides in those moments. It's in the activities that energize you, the causes that move you, the moments where your gifts and your passions meet the world's needs. Living with purpose doesn't always mean a grand mission. Sometimes it's simply being present where you are and bringing light into that space. It could be the way you raise your children, the way you listen to a friend, the way you treat your customers, the way you use your creativity to inspire. It's not about being famous. It's about being faithful to what you're called to do. Purpose is not always loud. Sometimes it's quiet, steady, and deeply powerful. When you live in alignment with your purpose, even your problems feel different. They don't disappear, but they become more bearable. Why? Because you know you're working towards something that matters. You have a reason to keep going. You wake up with direction, and that direction gives you hope. That hope becomes joy, and that joy becomes the kind of happiness that doesn't rely on everything going right. It relies on you doing what's right for your soul. You were created for more than survival. You were made to shine. You were designed with gifts, with potential, and with a contribution that is unique to you. Don't compare your path with anyone else's. Your purpose isn't a copy of theirs. It's custom, designed for you. And the moment you begin walking in it, you'll notice a shift inside. You'll begin to carry yourself differently. You'll feel more grounded, more fulfilled, more whole. So if you want to build a lasting happiness, don't just ask yourself what makes you feel good. Ask yourself what makes you feel useful, inspired, and full of life. Ask yourself how you can serve, how you can grow, how you can pour light into the world. Because the happiest people are not always the ones who have the most. They are the ones who give the most of themselves to something meaningful. And when you find that purpose, even the darkest days will not be able to dim your inner light. The people you surround yourself with have a powerful impact on your mindset, your emotions, and your overall sense of happiness. Human beings are deeply influenced by the energy of those around them. Whether we realize it or not, the thoughts, words, and attitudes of others begin to shape our own inner world. If you spend your time around people who are constantly negative, complaining, or focused on what's wrong, it becomes much harder to maintain a joyful and hopeful spirit. On the other hand, when you surround yourself with people who radiate positivity, who speak life, who encourage you and uplift you, you begin to feel lighter, stronger, more confident, and more alive. You don't need to be around perfect people. You just need to be around people who are trying to grow, people who are kind, people who want to see you win, people who celebrate your victories instead of competing with you. These are the kind of relationships that nourish your soul. They help you to believe in yourself. They help you rise after you've fallen. They don't pull you down. They remind you of your wings. The truth is, not everyone in your life will be good for your growth. And sometimes choosing happiness means creating boundaries with those who drain your energy. It's not about judging others or thinking you're better than anyone. It's about protecting your peace. When someone constantly fills your space with criticism, fear, gossip, or pessimism, you have the right and the responsibility to limit your exposure to that influence, because your mental and emotional health matters. You can love people from a distance. You can care without allowing them to drag you down. One of the greatest gifts you can give yourself is the gift of a healthy environment, and that begins with the people you allow into your inner circle. Find those who speak with kindness, who laugh easily, who believe in possibility, who talk about ideas instead of tearing people down, who are excited about life, even in the face of challenges. These are the people who will lift your spirit when it's low. These are the people who will remind you of the light inside you when you forget it's there. And don't forget, you also have the power to be that kind of person for someone else. Happiness multiplies when it is shared. Become the encourager. Be the one who smiles first. Be the one who speaks hope into a weary heart. When you bring light to others, you begin to shine brighter yourself. Positivity is contagious, and when you live it, you attract others who do the same. It's not always easy to change your circle, especially if you've been surrounded by negative influences for a long time. But even small shifts can make a big difference. Start by spending more time with people who inspire you. Read books and listen to voices that lift you up. Seek out communities that reflect the kind of energy you want to carry, and slowly your world will begin to shift. Your thoughts will become more hopeful. Your words will become more gentle. Your spirit will feel lighter. Remember, you become like the company you keep. So choose wisely. Walk with those who challenge you to be better, not bitter. Let your environment be a garden where joy grows easily, where laughter is common, and where support is never in short supply. Surround yourself with positive influences, and you'll begin to create a life that naturally leans toward happiness, hope, and peace. There is a quiet strength that comes from trusting something greater than yourself. When you believe that life is not happening to you, but for you, everything begins to shift. You start to see purpose in your pain, lessons in your trials, and growth in your delays. Trusting God's plan doesn't mean you'll always understand what's happening. It means you choose to believe that something meaningful is unfolding, even when the road isn't clear. That belief becomes your anchor. It holds you steady when the waves rise, and it keeps your heart calm when everything around you feels uncertain. Faith is not a feeling, it's a choice. It's waking up in the morning and saying, I may not know what today holds, but I know who holds today. It's choosing to walk forward even when you don't have all the answers, because you trust the one who does, and that trust brings a peace that the world can't give and circumstances can't take away. That peace becomes the soil where happiness grows. It becomes the foundation beneath your feet when everything else feels unstable. There will be seasons when life doesn't go according to your plans. Doors you thought would open may stay closed. People you counted on may walk away. Dreams you worked for might seem delayed or even denied, but faith reminds you that none of it is wasted. Faith whispers, keep going. There's more ahead than what you've lost behind. When you believe in God's timing, you stop rushing. When you believe in His wisdom, you stop panicking. When you believe in His goodness, you stop doubting your own journey. You don't have to carry the weight of the world on your shoulders. You're not meant to have all the answers. You're meant to trust, to lean, to release control, and rest in the knowledge that God is guiding you even when you can't see the map. That kind of surrender isn't weakness. It's powerful. It frees your heart from anxiety. It opens your spirit to peace, and from that place of peace, happiness begins to bloom. Too often we tie our happiness to what we can control. We say, I'll be happy when this happens, when I get there, when I understand everything. But faith says, you can be happy now, you can trust now, you can rest now, because God is already working behind the scenes. He is aligning things in your favor, preparing what you're not yet ready for, and protecting you from what you can't yet see. Sometimes His greatest blessings come disguised as detours. Sometimes His delays are the very things that save us. When you truly believe that your life has divine purpose, you stop comparing your path to others. You stop measuring your worth by the speed of your progress. You start living with patience, with hope, with peace in your soul. You begin to recognize that every moment, even the hard ones, are part of a bigger picture. And in that recognition, your heart settles, your thoughts clear, your joy returns. So wherever you are right now, take a deep breath and remind yourself, you are not alone, you are not forgotten, you are being led step by a hand that never fails. Trusting God's plan doesn't mean life will be perfect, but it means you'll never walk it alone. And when you walk in that kind of faith, you walk in peace, and peace is where happiness finds its home. Let that truth fill your heart today and carry you forward with calmness, courage, and quiet joy. A smile is more than just a movement of the mouth. It is a message to your entire being. It is a choice you make, a deliberate act of courage, especially when life feels heavy. You may not always feel like smiling. There are days when everything seems to go wrong, when the weight of disappointment presses down, when your heart feels tired. But in those very moments, a smile can become a spark of hope. It may seem small, but it carries within it the power to lift your spirit, brighten your thoughts, and begin a quiet transformation from within. There's something remarkable about choosing to smile, even when circumstances give you no reason to. That kind of smile is not fake, it's faithful. It's not pretending that pain doesn't exist, it's declaring that pain won't have the final word. When you smile in the face of struggle, you're not ignoring your reality. You're saying that joy still belongs to you, no matter what. That simple action becomes a signal to your soul, a reminder that you are stronger than your feelings and greater than your circumstances. Sometimes we wait to feel better before we act better. We think, once I'm happy, I'll smile. But there is a deeper truth. Our actions can lead our emotions. A smile is a seed you plant today that will grow into joy tomorrow. It's not about forcing happiness. It's about opening the door to it. When you smile, even when it's difficult, you create space for peace to enter. You start to soften the edges of the pain. You let light touch the shadows in your heart. Science has shown us that smiling can change the chemistry of the brain. It releases endorphins, reduces stress, and invites a calm that helps you face the day with more resilience. But beyond the science, there is a spiritual power in smiling. It's a gesture of faith. It says, I believe something good is still possible. It says, this moment will not break me. It says, there is still joy ahead. And the beauty of a smile is that it doesn't just change you. It changes the people around you. A sincere smile has the ability to warm hearts, to break down walls, to comfort a stranger, to encourage a friend. You never know who might need the strength of your smile. You never know how a single moment of shared joy might lift someone else out of the dark. Make it a habit to smile, especially when life gets tough. Let it be your quiet act of rebellion against bitterness. Let it be your way of reclaiming joy from the jaws of difficulty. Smile in the mirror when you wake up as a signal to your mind that today holds promise. Smile at the people you meet even if they don't return it. Smile when you're nervous, when you're uncertain, when you feel alone. It's not weakness, it's strength. It's a quiet declaration that your spirit remains unbroken. Of course, smiling doesn't remove the need to deal with your feelings. It doesn't mean you ignore sadness or deny your emotions. It simply means you refuse to let those feelings define you. You acknowledge the struggle, but you also acknowledge the hope. You say, yes, this is hard, but I still choose joy. So go ahead. Even if your heart feels heavy, lift the corners of your mouth. Let that simple act speak louder than your doubts. Let it say what words cannot, that you are still standing, still believing, still hoping. And in time, your feelings will begin to follow your actions. Your soul will catch up with your smile, and joy, true, lasting joy, will find its way back to you. Life often presents us with situations that are far beyond our control. The people we care about make decisions we cannot change. Circumstances shift without warning. Plans fall apart. Expectations go unmet. And in our human nature, we grasp, we cling, we try so hard to fix what is broken, to hold together what is unraveling. But in doing so, we wear ourselves down. We exhaust our minds and burden our hearts trying to control what was never ours to carry. Real peace begins the moment we loosen our grip. It begins when we stop trying to force outcomes and start trusting a higher wisdom, a divine purpose that sees the bigger picture we cannot see. Surrender is not giving up. It's not weakness. It's not passively accepting defeat. Surrender is choosing to let go of the things that belong in God's hands, not yours. It is an act of strength, a declaration that you trust more in His plan than in your own power. When you surrender your worries, your anxieties, and your need for control, something incredible happens. Your soul begins to rest, your mind becomes quieter, your heart becomes lighter, and your life begins to flow with a new kind of ease. We all carry invisible burdens, trying to make someone love us, trying to control someone's choices, trying to guarantee tomorrow's outcome. But these are not your burdens to bear. You were not designed to carry the full weight of the world on your shoulders. You were meant to walk in faith, step by step, trusting that God is working behind the scenes even when you cannot see the evidence. And trust, real trust, means releasing your tight hold and saying, I surrender this to you. It's not always easy. Sometimes it feels safer to worry, to analyze every detail, to try and solve every problem on your own. But peace never comes from overthinking. It comes from trusting. It comes from stepping back and saying, I've done what I can. Now I place it in hands that are wiser and more capable than mine. When you do this, you create room for miracles. You make space for God to work. Letting go also means accepting what is. It means not fighting against reality, but learning to move with it. It means understanding that some people will walk away, some opportunities will close, and some seasons will end. And that's okay, because what is meant for you will always find you. What is not meant for you cannot be forced to stay. Trusting God means believing that even the closed doors are part of His protection. Even the delays are part of His preparation. Even the losses carry hidden lessons and future blessings. Start by identifying what you've been clinging to. Is it a fear of the future, a relationship you can't control, a mistake from the past? Name it, acknowledge it, and then release it. You might need to do it every day, every hour. sometimes every minute. But with each release, you will feel more peace. With each prayer of surrender, your spirit will feel more secure. And remember, surrendering doesn't mean you stop caring. It means you care enough to trust. It means you release the illusion of control and embrace the truth that you are not alone in this journey. There is a power greater than you, walking beside you, guiding your steps, catching your tears, and turning even your pain into purpose. So breathe deeply, let go of what you can't control, hand over your worries, and trust that when you stop trying to control everything, you give life the space to unfold in beautiful and unexpected ways. That is where true peace lies. That is where happiness begins to take root and grow. The words you speak to yourself shape the reality you live in. Every day, from the moment you wake up, your mind begins to absorb messages, some from the world around you, and many from within your own thoughts. If those messages are filled with fear, doubt, and self-criticism, then your spirit begins to shrink. But when you speak words of life, of strength, of hope and confidence, something powerful begins to happen. Your heart lifts, your mind clears, and your energy aligns with purpose and peace. This is the power of affirmation. Affirmations are not just shallow phrases or wishful thinking. They are declarations of intent. They are reminders of who you are and what you believe. When you say, "I am joyful," you are not denying that life has struggles. You are choosing to focus your heart on the light instead of the dark. When you say, "I am strong," you are not claiming to have all the answers. You are acknowledging the inner power that carries you through. When you say, "I am filled with peace and purpose," you are grounding yourself in the truth that your life is meaningful, even when circumstances try to say otherwise. The beauty of affirmations is that they begin to rewire the patterns of your thinking. Your brain listens to the words you speak. The more often you repeat a truth, the more your mind accepts it. The more your mind accepts it, the more your actions reflect it. And the more your actions reflect it, the more your life begins to change. This is not magic. This is the spiritual and mental discipline of aligning your thoughts with the truth of who you are. Begin your day with affirmations. Before the noise of the world enters your mind, speak words that anchor you. Say them out loud. Say them with belief. Even if you don't fully feel them at first, say them anyway. Feelings follow focus. When you consistently speak what is good, strong, and beautiful, your emotions will begin to rise to that level. You are planting seeds, and seeds, when nurtured daily, become gardens of peace, confidence, and joy. You might say, "Today I choose joy, no matter what comes. I am deeply loved, and I walk in purpose. I am resilient. I am grateful. I am calm in the face of pressure. I am becoming the person I was created to be." These are not empty statements. They are truths waiting to be claimed. They are anchors when the storms of life begin to shake your foundation. And in time, they will not only shape your mind, they will shape your life. The world will offer you many voices. Some will tell you you're not enough. Some will magnify your failures and minimize your progress. But your voice, the voice you use with yourself, must be stronger, kinder, and more rooted in truth. Don't wait for others to affirm you. Affirm yourself. Speak as someone who knows they are here for a reason, someone who believes in growth, someone who chooses light. And affirmation is not just about words. It's about the spirit behind the words. Speak with conviction. Speak with faith. Speak with love. Your voice is not just sound. It is creative energy. It carries intention. It carries power. And when used with wisdom, it becomes one of the greatest tools you have to build a life of inner joy and lasting happiness. So speak life, daily, boldly, consistently. Let your words be blessings over your own heart. Let them guide your thoughts, your decisions, and your action. And as you practice this sacred habit, you'll find that happiness doesn't always need to be found in the world around you. Sometimes it simply needs to be spoken from within. Keep your heart full of faith, your mind fixed on the good, and walk forward with unshakable confidence. For when you believe with all your being, nothing in heaven or on earth can keep you from the happiness and success that are meant to be yours. Let me know if you'd like a version focused on a specific theme like faith, perseverance, or inner peace.